Back now to that fallout from the deadly Fort Worth officer-involved shooting. Tonight, crowds showed up en masse to give the mayor and council members an earful about what they think needs to change. Caroline Vandergriff next for us at Fort Worth City Hall tonight. Caroline?
We just stepped outside council chambers, but it's getting heated inside. People had to wait 2.5 hours to talk about the shooting as the city council went through their scheduled agenda, but we keep hearing a common message. People don't feel safe in Fort Worth. It is standing room only inside the council chambers at the moment. Right now, the room has reached max capacity at 350 people. Now, like I said, the council had to go through all their regular business before people could talk about what happened to Tatiana Jefferson. Those who tried to speak about anything but the topic at hand were escorted off the podium by city marshals. There were a few other outbursts as frustrations with the process grew, but Mayor Betsy Price has assured the crowd that everyone who wants to speak tonight will be heard.
I think what we need is for you to acknowledge that this is a systemic racism issue.
Mayor Price, this is an emergency that will require much more than a letter that says all the right things and tells the citizens of Fort Worth how they need to react. You mentioned that we need to provide Tay's nephew with anything he needs. He needs his aunt alive. He needs to not have witnessed her murder. He needs the city he lives in to be equitable and just and safe from poorly trained, scared, racist police officers.
Dozens of people are also holding up signs calling for City Manager David Cook and Assistant City Manager Jay Chapa to be fired. Now, more than 60 people signed up to speak about this tonight, and they each get 3 minutes. So far, we've heard from less than a dozen, so it's going to be a long night here at City Hall. Live in Fort Worth, I'm Caroline Vandergriff, CBS 11 News.
Caroline, thank you very much for the update there. And one by one, people who were waiting outside of Fort Worth Council chambers that Caroline was just talking about could only go in basically if somebody left. They capped the number who could go inside, and that left a lot of people stuck outside, but they're willing to share their message with anyone who would listen.
We have to make a change. The change is not going to be in there. Right. The change is going to be voting. That's right. And then holding the people that you vote for accountable.
So former officer Aaron Dean is out of jail tonight, but this is the moment last night that he was booked into jail on that murder charge for shooting Jefferson. The book-in process took several hours. He was later released after posting a $200,000 bond. And while former officer Dean is out on bond tonight, detectives with the Fort Worth Police Department, the FBI, all those investigators along with the Tarrant County DA's office are working on this case. Fort Worth police say that Dean did not sit down for an interview on the day of the shooting, but his lawyers promised that he would provide a written statement at a later date. Our knowledge is that has not happened as of right now because Dean resigned from the police department right before the chief could fire him. We are learning more about what happened, though, that night because of the 8-year-old boy who was in the room with Tatiana Jefferson. This is all per the police report. Jefferson's nephew said that they heard noises coming from outside, Tatiana had, and then she took her handgun from her purse. And then he says Jefferson raised her gun, pointed it toward the window, and then Jefferson was shot and fell to the ground. That boy, by the way, was not physically hurt in this shooting. We are learning more about 28-year-old Tatiana Jefferson tonight from those who knew her best. Her family describing her as someone who always wanted to help others. She recently moved in with her sick mom to take care of her and to save money to go to medical school. While they're mourning her death, the family is hoping that her character lives on in those who knew her well.
I'm angry and I'm hurt of what happened to her. But I want that legacy of who she is to be instilled forever in other young people.
To understand a little bit more about this woman, Jefferson graduated from Lake Highlands High. That was back in 2010. She went on to college at Xavier University in Louisiana. Her family, so you know, is creating a foundation now to help young black men and women become doctors and live out their dreams. Fort Worth Police Chief Ed Krause, for the record, is not defending Officer Dean today, drawing a clear line between the actions that happened on Saturday and the honorable work, he says, that other Fort Worth police officers do every single day.
I likened it yesterday to some of our officers that are out there every weekend and most weeknights that they're out there trying to build these relationships. And I likened it to a bunch of ants building an ant hill, and then somebody comes with a hose and washes it away, and they just have to start from scratch and build over. I think that's going to be all. Thank you.
It's an emotional Chief Krause earlier today, also saying that there was no excuse for Officer Dean to shoot and kill Tatiana Jefferson inside her own home. Mayor Betsy Price and Interim Chief Kraus did meet with the family today. We know the mayor apologized to them in person, repeated what she has already said publicly, that the police department is going to bring outside agencies to review the use of force and other policies that are within the department. As things develop, we will share with you immediately.